TradeGATEHub.com, joined by Mike Venezia. People are calling us a dynamic duo, Mike.
Are they really?
Now Mike's a ghost, and here
No,
he is.
No, I didn't. I just took off my cape.
Right.
I hope you're Robin and I'm Batman. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah, I don't care.
I don't care either, actually.
My ego's gone. I've been kicked in the teeth enough times to not have one.
You know what? You know what? That's true. That is true. Me too.
So, last week and the week before, we talked about this big break in crude. And when I was on, I said, I'd be looking for shorts around the 112 level and put out a sale at 111.25. So, I mean, you're up a buck right now. One time you're up $1.50 if you come in and check our ideas out in the main trading room. And more than it just being a trade, it's a probe and protect like it was up here, with the contention being that this is just a rebound from a very sharp break and that there's another wave to the downside. And with that, Mike, we had a low reversal, pretty nice reversal candle here in S&Ps and even more in NASDAQ. And I think the issue for the market over the next several days is going to be rates in the dollar. The dollar looks like it has one more push to the upside out of this little triangle here.
I agree. I do. Okay. I don't trade it, but I do. From what I've done, I have to be aware of this financial instrument. Well, obviously, I am on. I can dissertate but this is more. I agree with that. I'm honed on this more than I ever have, and this is a time in trading where a lot of ever haves has been thrown out, even egregiously. But that for me, I'm on it. Yeah, I agree.
Okay, and I do think it's going to be a major turning point. It's wave 5, so this could turn out, I believe, to be a great shorting opportunity. But normally the translation is dollar strength, risk off. So while we're getting this out of the way, perhaps we get a pullback. It's been one hell of a run. And it sure doesn't want to give up much. The markets don't want to give up much. And what's surprising with S&P's flat and NASDAQ down almost 1%, you have IWM, you have the Russell up another 0.5%. So, Mike, when it comes to the Russell, would you consider it's like the trash? Or a tertiary market.
That's correct.
And definitely not filled with the best of breeds. So that when money flows into that type of sector, okay, what's the market message you get?
The market message is it's starting to get a little short-term toppy. The best of breeds have made their move, as you can see, and some have hit resistance for a little bit. By the way, I'm still bullish.
Right.
We're talking, but you know what? When they start, it's also this way. When you have a runaway bull market, and this is what I've learned, and I don't think I'm alone here, Coach, you'll agree, is when all the IPOs start flooding the market, and when they take up all of the low floaters, you know what I mean? In a speculative market on the way up, I think that's usually the sign of a top or a short-term pullback, and I think it's the same way here. At least the IWM. I from what I'm reading, and I just go by price action. I leave that to the professionals. Is the joke, is that the small caps and the dogs are going to be the ones that catch up. That's what that's what happened. You know what? That's evident in the IWM. But you know what I mean. I'm not really sure where to go from here.
Yeah, I mean, we held this major support here and got a bounce, and then took it out to really, this was like the panic week in Russell, and now we're back above it. And it's my contention, and also
good chart.
who we have interviewed a few times here, David H. Contrarian, always believed that when we would have a melt up, that Russell would be have the leadership, because this is going to be the most speculative part of the bull market coming up if we get one more new high.
Pardon, Coach. I don't even think it's got to be the run up to new highs. I still think that theory is still going to be evident if rotation is still tantamount. The bottom line is, we were talking about in the videos, go back months now, of how we thought that maybe this would end, if you will, going back into late September, maybe October, right?
Yeah.
If we can hold here after all the damage is done and get through earnings season, which is coming up So, we don't want to see another snap, hurt things there. We don't want to see another, there were a lot of pre-announcements that held back the rally from last time. And it's basically a similar situation now. So if we can hold on with this range predicated upon your indicators and mine until September, I think that's extremely bullish.
Okay, I don't think it's going to wait for September, and
Okay.
if we can get above this channel line here, Mike, that is anchored at a little over 4,600, this is going to be a big deal. Where shorts
Absolutely.
are going to have to rationalize it after we get through 4,100.
I will say this: there are more positive cross currents, if that actually makes sense, this time for a bottom than there were last
Than
time.
there were here.
There's no question about it.
Because crude wasn't falling, commodity prices weren't falling.
It's already peak fear inflation is out. Some stocks actually are holding well, and most of them are holding well into even bad news now. Nike was actually one of them today. So that even I use Nike as a more macro example because the leverage of China. Nike's even leveraged to oil to a degree because that's how multinational, or if you want to call it how they are. But you know what I mean. The signs are there. As I said, we've been posting on TradeGATEHub. Monday's the most important amount of data. You don't even have to go there yet, Coach. Just everybody should know by now that it's either the data we put out or the Red YouTube channel, which is phenomenal. That's the first thing you should do before even tuning in. You know what? A lot of stocks. A lot of stocks. It's what I mean. It's different this time. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
Go ahead.
And Mike, a stat you'll love. CNBC did a poll and asked, I don't know, viewers, traders, how many believe the low that we had last week was the low?
I don't even have to guess. I can sure by our indicators, they're very few. Hedge funds are not even right. Hedge
27%.
That's
so 72.3% believed that was not the low.
And you know why I believe that is bullish also? Because maybe speculators will go in the IWM and everything like that. But when even our Goldman indicator is still underfunded, if I didn't make it up. It's a universal thing, if you will. Kathy was saying that everybody's starting to believe in the rally a little bit, and that's fine. But you have, if I believe the IWM will outperform even so because the big daddies have made their move, if not consolidate. But God forbid, and I don't use that term lightly, is that if the market keeps going, they'll not only take up the dogs, but then you know what? The ones that have led the rally out, and Google, stocks have made a nice move, will also keep going as well because the funds aren't going to look to buy, whatever here, whatever small stock. Throw anything out there. They need to go in now. And by the way, the VIX at what? Where's the VIX now, Coach?
Well, I wanted to.
22. I mean, it goes below 20. I mean, funds got to be. I mean, now it's a calmer market. There's no excuse with inflation or the interest rates this high and volatility has subsided for people to sit there in cash. You know what I mean? You're gonna get fired.
Something I've noticed on one of your holdings that I'm following, and it's Google, that we have this ascending triangle developing here.
Right.
And we're in a pullback mode, but I think 2100 is going to hold. Maybe you use your 3-day down rule on something like this. But if we get back over 2386, it's going to take us up here to 2700. And call me, call the mental health care workers out for me. But if we get over 2700, Google's going to new highs.
It is going to new highs. And you know what? There are a lot of stocks that still have to repair, that still have to show more to repair some damage. I mean, look at it, punch it up, Coach. Look at a chart of Target.
Okay, I'm going to turn it over to you because there are some individual issues I want to ask you about too. So I'm going to stop sharing and you could start showing us what's on your radar. But maybe we could start with, a lot of people have been locked up in their houses for a few years, Mike, and even though the airlines are a nightmare, people are still going to go. I was seeing someone's analysis on the airlines that UAL was demonstrating relative strength in the group. I'm wondering if you have a view on UAL.
I do have a view on UAL. You know what I mean? Okay. The stock, oh, let me share my screen. The stock is doing what it should be doing right now. Okay. Crude prices came down. There was a nice little, bounce in the market.
Yeah.
I looked at, in this type of sector, the airlines, the cliche still holds true there. There are very few people like them. You know what I mean? It's a fickle group. So I look at the best of breeds. I saw a lot of money going in, and a lot of call action, heavy call action going
Southwest.
in Southwest. And you know
Yeah.
what? I like where it's holding this 37. It's,
Yeah.
there are better stocks. I don't think,
Yeah. UAL never took out that March low.
no, it didn't.
So, that's
But this is the one I bought today. And you know what?
okay.
Let's go to, no, I appreciate the UAL. Listen, UAL, you know what I mean? It's in the danger zone. It's in no man's land.
Yeah.
I can give you 50 reasons why to buy it, and just as compelling 50 reasons why not to buy it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
There are a lot in their favor. Listen, I'm not going to get you. There's a lot in their favor, in your favor too. Meaning, arguably one of the best of breeds. I mean, you can go to Delta. No, UAL is the best of breed. There's been a little bit of consolidation in the sector. Crude prices are going the right way. It's already held a higher low, which
Yeah.
is, I don't care if they make widgets. That's a nice chart for a higher low.
Exactly.
But let's go to this one, which I'm buying today. Actually, did buy today. Let's go to Boeing. I mean, this is now Boeing. Although I like to see it hold, it came in with some nice volume.
Yeah.
The 50-day is the holy grail of at least the swing trades, if you will. I'm not alone there. It did break the 50. This is the move today it made. I mean, everybody was into watching it, which is why I want to see where it settles. So I'm taking a little bit of position on Boeing today. I don't know if you want to call it industrial. I don't know if you want to call it conglomerate. I don't know if you want to call it an airline. It's arguable. And by the way, I also took a little position in Boeing's baby brother, SPR. So do some research on that. They basically make a lot of the components and it's like a Boeing warrant. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I took a little position in SPR.
That looks okay.
No,
I wanted to ask you about something that people love. I saw an analyst put the chart up there, and he was very bullish. And I looked at the chart and I go, God, I'd be careful being long up there. It's Eli Lilly.
Right. Well, they all, you know what? And this is why one of my bigger positions now, I bought the dog, and it's working, and it should be working because I'm a pro. And if it didn't, I wouldn't be in it. I would have sold it. It's this. Okay. Let's look at your example and why I did what I did. Let's look at Lilly. All right. Lilly, animal. You know what? Lilly right here is more of a macro macro story. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do with it here. It's another Sockaway situation.
It's a third drive to a top, Mike.
Is it? Oh, don't say that, please. Don't say that. I don't want to hear that. That'll start.
Look, I'm not making it up.
No,
I'm just counting, bro.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? That's the last thing I need is to take a position in Lilly short at 330 and worry about. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to do it.
I'd be taking longs off.
No. I wouldn't argue with that either. Here's Bristol Myers. Okay.
Look at where the RSI is compared to where it was in March.
No, that's just like our UNG chart. The UNG short. Right
similar.
Here. Right here, where it never made the RSI, made that new. I learned that as well. You know what? I actually relearned that. There's been so much stuff in there that everything leaks out, but that was a good one, Coach. But you know what?
Anyway, that's why I wanted to bring it up. I'm sure there's a lot of people, loving the market at New York. Markets always look the best at the highs, the worst at the bottoms, don't they, buddy?
Well, yeah, I do appreciate that, but that's also we're smart enough to know, that's work.
Is this another pharmaceutical here being Bristol Myers?
Bristol Myers is doing the same thing as Lilly. Now
that looks better.
Now look, it does actually. We'd like to position the XLV, which we took a position in. That's right here. And now that it's a coin toss. But I also took a position in Bausch & Lomb, BHC, which used to be the old Valiant. Bausch & Lomb needs no introduction. Now, Bausch & Lomb, I know, was 1 year ago was a $37 stock, and however percent off its high, it's not alone. This could very well be a biotech, could be a technology, a retailer, a software stock. But BHC had similar news. They threw the CEO out there, the baby with the bathwater. All the news was out. It bottomed on good volume. This news that it had here in the middle of April was similar news. So if it holds a 774, I like it. Now it's above the moving average. I think it has a lot of catching up to do if the story is real. analogous to, Bristol Myers or Lilly. It's in a similar sector. It's more in a similar sector. It's more similar to Johnson and Johnson. So there's Johnson and Johnson's long-term chart. If I am bullish and not hypocritical about what I'm saying of the IWM having some catch up, I think it does is to edify my statement. But I don't think I'm going to get hurt here. Now, I'm not really in a position to buy stocks not to get hurt, but I think this is moving in the right direction in the right sector, and it's all out. So PHC, I've been taking a position on since that day at 784. It's up at 920. You know what I mean? I hope it goes through the whole number. I hope it leaks up into the gap at 1082 that needs rest. And then it's probably going to take another quarter or two for news to come out. We see where it is from there, but I'm in it. Like I said, I like it. I'm up in it. It's headed in the right direction. And it's for the reasons why I like, even if it's defensive, it's going my way. That's all.
Okay. And, a lot of people viewed that pullback in energy a little different than I do. And they felt it was a great buying opportunity. And we did have a nice bounce in some of the energy issues yesterday and the day before. Look at where it held. Wow, is that Chevron?
That's the XO. That was the XLE.
Okay.
Lean in. You gave both a good chart on that, by the way.
Yeah, I think it's held on by a thread. Maybe it could work higher, but I'm viewing the bounce in crude, which was a lot sharper than what we've seen here on the shares, but I don't think we're going to see new highs. The cycle might be over. I'd be using strength to get out, liquidate longs. What's your take?
My take is this. It's obviously still a macro situation. It's a geopolitical position more than ever again. I did take a short here. I shorted someone. I'm short HP. And why am I short HP? Okay. The stock went from 37 to 45. It's right now at the 50-day, which I was right, the blue line, okay, which is my line in the sand for swing trades. And by the way, it is made a nice move up. I don't think I'm going to catch the bottom. I don't think I'm going to get to the top. I think I'm shorted from a little bit over the strike price at 45. So even it runs away from me. What's it going to go to 46.74? And that's the red, white, and blue. That's the actually the 20 days above the 50. That's interesting.
Yeah, and the last two charts hung on with what's that green, the 200-day?
Yes, always the 200-day. So there's Schlumberger below. That's best of breed oil driller below the 200-day. Now they couldn't get enough of Halliburton 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
45 to 30. That's incredible. Yeah. And I posted something up here on TG.
That's what I mean. A lot of longs are trapped, and we were talking about getting flat oils up there, and they're stuck.
Well, this is it. Here, I'll show you. Right, it was up. I have to go to TGH here because there's a really amazing stat that punch it up on Monday, which everybody go to that red button to the top right YouTube and go back what we said Monday, because that's what leads the week off. Coach, I got to get this because it was an astounding stat.
We have time.
About crude. I think here it is. Metals, but it was analogous to a crude situation. Yeah. Metals haven't crashed this hard since the Great Recession. The Great Recession. I mean, we've been through, terrorist attacks, major geopolitical moves, banking crises, techbubbles.com, even the 1970, whatever, the crash of all. You're talking about the metals haven't crashed just in a normal July, the normal late June. You know what I mean? That's incredible. No?
How did the curve here? We were talking about copper. I think I talked about 3.25 copper. I think we got down to 350, but copper. That's why I favored the precious metals, but they're also under a little bit of pressure. How do the miners look to you, Mike? You still wouldn't short them, but not ready to buy them yet?
Well, I saw that. I mean, GDX. Look. Oh, hold on. Let me just share the screen properly. Apologize. GDX.
Because I'm thinking, with this dollar, if I'm right about the dollar having one more high, that's what I'm waiting for to add to my metal holdings. But that looks pretty ugly.
No, what I wouldn't do is buy any triple ETFs, and that's for you, Lewis, and go for this nugget and everything, because as you saw with LABD, these triple ETFs unwind a lot more than any. Believe me,
they have a lot of decay.
Triple ETFs are better breaking highs and breaking lows on that respective side. So let's look. Here we go. Here's Newmont. That's a weekly on Newmont.
Newmont looks better than
Is it daily on
GDX.
Newmont? Okay, there you go. That's, I mean, that's, we'll keep his,
It needs to
yeah,
clear 66.
Kirkland Gold. I like that one. What's up? So let's look at AU, even go further out. Don't like it. Let's look at AEM further out. Don't like it. It's Newmont. You want to try something? You have to have something in the portfolio. Trade only. That's what you go with, right?
Yeah, Newmont, GDX or GDX.
Silver. Let's look at EXK. Silver, AGQ, the triple ETF miner, triple ETF, AGQ. You know what I mean? So it's Newmont, but it's Newmont. Listen, you want to buy buy the best of breed, which is Newmont, and you want to go dumpster diving, how about GOLD? Then buy GOLD.
Okay, the uranium issues also were under a lot of pressure the last 30 days or so. Best of breed there for people that want to irradiate themselves.
We all know it. It's CCJ. The other little ancillary ones of US said UEC, $3 stock. I don't know what the other ones I play. I don't even know them anymore. Those are the only two I follow, CCJ,
Okay.
UEC, but CCJ is the one. URA. URA is, I believe that's the ETF. URA daily, yeah. URA. It's
Okay.
the uranium ETF, URA.
Okay. Anything, what's hot in tech right now, Mike?
I'm trying not to look at my screen. What's hot in tech?
Yeah.
You know what? Like ZI. I don't know yet. You know what I mean? It's I'm all gauged about what's going on with Apple.
I mean, are the semis close to doing
No.
something right? They made new lows last
No, they're
week.
not. This is MU.
Yeah, it looks terrible.
That's MU. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
my best of breed.
Don't even fill the gap.
ON Semiconductor is the best one right now. It's got a little overhead. I actually sold some today. How do they look, Coach? I don't. You know what?
That's a bullish chart, I think, long term of that one.
ON. That's
Yeah.
my biggest semiconductor hold.
Because that's just consolidation.
No, that's my
It could
biggest.
blow through those highs one day.
Yeah, no, I like it. And you know what? It held where it should. It's probably, you know what? There's a little overhead supply there because it was a best of breed for a while. And I just think everybody's waiting to see if the semis are going to hold and to re-go. But yeah, I like that one. And let's look at the equipment maker best of breed. There was our Lamb research.
Oh, that's right.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
there we go. Let's look at the other, let's look at something bigger than Cisco that sometimes has been going up. So look at that. Cisco
Awful.
short.
Yeah.
Let's look at Twila, which had a nice. I felt like a fool when I sold it right through the strike price on, I think it was a Friday at 101, and the stock went to hold on. Twila went to 102. I sold them good 102. And now it's back to 94. So Twila, I'm looking at again. That's a best of breed. But you know what? The chart doesn't do its justice. Square. You know what I mean? So it did have a nice bounce from 56 to 69. Nice move, but you know what I mean? I don't know how to look at that yet.
Okay.
There's
any
nothing
view on any interest rate related sectors, sensitive sectors? We already covered semis, so they didn't respond. They got a little bounce with the bond bounce last week. Home builders popped pretty good. Was it last week?
They did, Coach. You know what? Lennar, I believe it was Lennar, led by Lennar.
Okay, back to resistance.
Lennar. There's two best of breeds here: Lennar and DHI. No, DRI. Sorry about that. What's that?
They kind of look similar.
DHI, DRI. No, it's with the home builder. Pulte. There's Pulte. There's Lennar. Oh, here's Toll. They're all the same. Lennar's the one. Lennar because it's a Goldman favorite. You know what I mean? It's good. The funds like it. It's Lennar's the one.
Cyber.
Cyber. Yeah, I like CRWD, and I'm going to be buying that.
That looks okay.
And I am. And you want to go through the other ones too. Is ZS. You know what? That's that's in the triangle, but that's the second in command. Then you go to S. That was a sexy hot IPO, cybersecurity there. They don't want it anymore. PANW, which is the best. I mean, you can call. I mean, that's really like a bigger one, best of breed in no man's land. So we'll see what happens there.
I'd like to wrap it with Tony Pistachio's pick earlier this week or late last week. Chewy.
Yeah, Chewy. We had it good. What was this? I'm trying to look at this. DFH. Where is it? KBH, Lennar, DHI. Yeah, it was DHI. That's
Martin?
I'm going back. This
Yeah,
DHI was the only home, the other home builder that goes. How's Chewy? Listen, Chewy's now again. I caught it. Listen, you know why?
got a nice rally.
It was a nice rally. It went over the
You
50
buy
day.
some milk bones with that, buddy.
No, this dog, forget it. There's a package that comes every day. He actually knows what this guy looks like. You know what I mean?
I
I'm
know.
serious.
They know the engine, sound of the engine.
They know the engine in my car too. It needs a tune up. Jesus.
Yeah.
No, so listen, Chewy, you know, I just used it. It just the gap up through the 50 day.
Yeah.
Nice volume. And that was the day where it looked like the stocks were also looking to squeeze as well. You could also look at Etsy that day. Etsy had a big day. So Chewy, I just used my same thing. There was no way to do the 50 day with volume that I would short Chewy on that rest day through that gap up. And it went from 33 to 40. I think I sold it at 37. I'm not going to lie. But you know what? It's 35 now. What are you going to do? I'll buy it again. I like it right here, right? It's just, you know, this other base. I'll buy it. You know what? I might even buy some more when I get off the air.
Okay. Best idea between now and our next chat next Tuesday.
Oh, coach. Let me look what's on my list. I'll go buy more of the XBI on the dip.
Okay.
There's right here. I'll buy that. I like this flag. I like the move up.
Yeah.
I like the flag coming in with no volume. Am I right?
Yeah.
And I like it above all the moving averages. They're scrolling up. I even liked how the way Nutella. There's a flag. I even think the mentality of Lilly and Bristol. What are you laughing at, Coach? You're always laughing.
Oh, I'm not
covering your mouth like the guy on.
I'm thinking that the last two that you showed me were XBI's interest rate sensitive. Put up the TLT. It's the same chart as XBI.
A little bit. Well, the XBI is a little bit better.
This looks good, but look at the day it's putting in. We had the first pop off it.
I appreciate that. The XBI is above the moving.
We're going to get some benign inflation news. The market's set up for it. What do you think?
I can't agree more.
When is that going to be, Mike?
Maybe after earnings start reporting, and they're not going to be as bad as they thought.
Okay, and a little downtick on whether it's a PPI, CPI. I don't know.
No. I leave that. I mean, I'm aware of the numbers, and by the way, as I should be, and even more so, everybody in TGH is aware of the numbers because I post every day, all economic numbers, probably a couple of times. So I know what's coming out ahead of time for the week. Why? Because that's my job. B, I always post like Jim Cramer's plan for the week ahead. And I have short-term, medium-term, and long-term plans. You know what I mean? I don't plan on. I try to go for a knockout in the first or second rounds. If I don't, then I go back in the corner and I catch my breath and I try to knock somebody down the fifth and sixth. If not, I go back and catch my breath and I try to get this decision in the end. You know what I mean? The market ever have to cut your eye because it was so swollen you couldn't see out of it? No, why? Well, that's in Rocky. Oh, with Mick. Oh, no. If I had to, Mick, I would. Cut the eye. If I had to, I would, Coach. Mike, you're a gem. No, what do you want to wrap it with, man? I want to watch it with. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Not to run before we're walking. What I'm going to do now is watch a 9:30 video because I can't watch it at 9:30 Eastern because the market goes up. I'm going to do what I always do. This is what I'm going to do right now. What I'm going to do after I get off here is this. I get on TGH. I get on my stock list. I go on very simply movers. How you doing? Top gainers. Percent change. Where's Nerve? Is Nerve up there, you bastard? KZR has been hot. Where's KZR? I'll get off in a second. KZR, this is hot. This is the now stock, a hot bio. So I'll write down stocks that have good range, good volume, and positive price action. I'll write them down in my columns. And when I get back, from walking the dog or whatever I do, maybe I'll hit some golf balls. I'll get back. And if they still qualify on having good range, positive price action means the futures are going up, they act accordingly. And, and I'll go from there. And I'll look at stocks even from yesterday that were in the news to see how they're acting. Something like Chewy, as Coach said. Hood got downgraded to sell from yesterday. Something like I'll see how, not Hood. Coin. I'll see how
Coin.
Hood acts after the takeovers. I'll see how Team acts after the day relaxing after the Goldman Sachs upgraded. I'll look at Etsy. I'll look at Exxon to see if it's holding up. It's no surprise from there. Just go through all the videos. You look at oil, look at gold, look at the TLT, look at the VIX, and you see if the best of breeds that are holding. See if the IWM is there. If the dogs are still catching up, or the rotation is going to be evident. It's only a Tuesday afternoon, so there's a lot of action to cover. And that's it. I'll leave you at that.
A man with a routine.
It
Mike
is.
Venezia.
Yeah. It is. It is a
Just
routine.
routine and discipline.
Yeah, it is
And
discipline too.
So,
like I said, and I will leave it there. The least of your concerns in TGH is going to be stock picking or knowing what to do. It's up to formulate on your plan and your style from there. You're not going to be sitting here at 9:30 and going, oh, what am I doing now? That's the least of your concerns going from here, because I'm active and I always give a plan pre-market. And even if it's a bad plan,
I've been around for 30, 40 years, bro. It's the best stock coverage I've seen in my career. How about that?
I appreciate that, Coach. It goes a long way.
Right,
You know what? It's not going to stop. So appreciate everybody.
Keep it coming, bro.
Thank you, Coach.
All right. Have a great day, everybody.
I got to watch the 9:30 video right now, Coach.
All right.
Take care, guys.
Adios.